Shalom, giving all praise going on to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rawakakodash, double honor to the apostles, great millstone, do well. Peace, love, and blessings also to you brothers on highways and byways, giving all diligence to make it calling and election sure that potentially are of the 144,000. Shalom to you. Peace, love, and blessings also to the 1/3 elect that consist of you, men, women, and children, the true body of believers. I'm the affiliate of Kanakala coming at you once again. The lesson, Lord's will, through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Shemi Shai's lessons edifying and exhorting. Now, as you can see here, I'm doing it more, how can I put it, analog, so to say. The software that I use, the software that's connected to this iPad, this will be my second time doing this video. In the midst of the video, it stops recording. So I'm just have to do it this way. All right. But I got this article from the brother in Atlanta. I forget exactly what he said his name was. But there's a spirit, and brothers have gone through this. This is just, it'll be a quick World War III update to show you that this war was already planned by the elites. Okay, basically they want Iran, because if they get Iran, they basically control the Middle East. All right, and I'll show you a few other reasons specifically why they want to overthrow Iran and take over Iran. But this is a planned war, and you can liken that event that took place in Israel the other day as Israel's 9/11. As America had a 9/11, you can like that event that took place, all right, as Israel's 9/11, the so-called Israelis, so-called. As you can see, Netanyahu is drawing the U.S. into war with Iran, all right, because this was the plan the whole time, and he's been wanting to do this. It says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has spent the past 3 decades sounding the alarm about Iran's nuclear program, and really, Iran is doing this basically for energy purposes, enriching uranium for energy purposes. All right, not to make a weapon, because they're great allies of Russia and China. They could easily just buy these weapons from Russia if they wanted to. Okay, easily. So this is, they're painting a picture, saying that Iran is just trying to basically create a nuke. It says about Iran's nuclear program and threatening to attack the country on countless occasions. Most recently in September, he said in a speech in the United States General Assembly that Tehran must face a credible nuclear threat before his office corrected record to credible military threat. So like you see, and brothers have brought this out already, but we'll continue to bring this out. This is biblical prophecy. As you can see here in the title, it says Netanyahu drawing the U.S. into war with Iran. Jeremiah 50 verse 45, it says, Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock, which is these individuals here, okay, this welfare state basically supported by the U.S. This is the least of the flock. All right. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right. They're trying to draw them into a war with Iran. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Okay. Because as you can see here, not only is they're going to be destroyed, but they're going to cause America to be destroyed right along with them. It says that the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and a cry is heard among the nations. And that earth, that noise of that taking is that's those missiles bombarding this place and making a very loud noise when they hit. All right, a cry is heard, and the cry is heard among the nations. All right, the merchants, when they see you. This correlates right with the book of Revelation. All right, the nations be well, the merchants be well, because they saw this place, Babylon the Great, aka America, being destroyed. Okay, they can no longer make no money. So let's go transition into these video clips here see. All right, this is proof right here.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld. And one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, "I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran." I said, "Is it classified?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, don't show it to me." About 10 days after 9/11, I went
As you heard him, run it back.
I said, "Yes, sir." I said, with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. I said, "Is it classified?" He said,
finishing off Iran. This is the actual U.S. general. Okay, so these wars are already planned. All right, and this will be their last move on the chessboard, and they'll be destroyed within this war. All right, so let's get a few. This was posted 2 months ago. War with Iran. I'm gonna hit the intro. I got a few points here that I took from this.
Trading deep into
this video. We'll listen to the intro. I have a few stopping points or starting points within this lesson, so we don't have to watch the whole 12 minutes of it.
The lingering enmity between Iran and the United States is one of the likeliest hotspots to spark a third global war. While Iran doesn't...
To spark a third global war, all right? It's Revelation 9, verse 12, and it reads, one woe is past, all right, the First World War. And this is what the previous verses was talking about, World War I, World War II. All right. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. So the Second World War is already past. All right. Simple math. 1 woe, 2, total of 3 woes. Okay. 2 woes more hereafter. Okay. So this is the Third World War, which is already started. But we get into the point here, who they really want to take out.
And enjoy the type of full-fledged support from allies that other nations wrapped up in both previous...
So you see that this is running back real fast.
The lingering enmity between Iran and the United States is one of the likeliest hotspots to spark a third global war. While Iran does...
All right, so let's go from there to 6 minutes and 24-second mark. And real fast too, I want to point out this comment here on the comment board, which is 100% accurate. All right, it says, "It is truly visible that the perspective of this video is based on mainstream Western-controlled media." Absolutely, that's basically what influence is. So when you watch this video, you gotta understand it's more so propaganda and a narrative being made. Okay, but at the same time, they brought out some useful information, as we say, take the meat from the bones. Understand this is 100% correct comment here. All right.
Though it's unknown if it's acted on any of them. President Biden has attempted to restart talks over the nuclear deal abandoned by Trump, but both sides have yet to come to an agreement. Now it's believed that thanks to the U.S. leaving the deal, Iran's accelerated work on developing nuclear weapons means it could be able to assemble one within a year or 2. According to Israeli estimates, Iran has enough enriched uranium for at least 4 bombs. In response to the nuclear and asymmetrical threat posed by Iran, the U.S. and Israel have dramatically stepped up their military cooperation, engaging in a number of exercises together. Some of these have simulated flights of Israel.
Exactly. So they've been doing military drills together because they've been preparing for this. All right, this isn't this incident that happened. This wasn't something that was unknown or something that just happened out of nowhere. Okay, this was all planned.
F-35s backed up by American F-15s penetrating deep into enemy airspace to carry out attacks highly insinuated to be attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities. The U.S. has even deployed its strategic bomber force of B-52s and B-1s into the area on multiple occasions, signaling a willingness to retaliate against Iran with either overwhelming conventional power or possibly even nuclear power. In January 2023, the largest ever joint American and Israeli exercise involving 6,400 American troops and 1,500 Israeli troops was carried out, signaling a commitment to respond with immediate force to a nuclear Iran. The U.S. has made it abundantly clear it will not tolerate a nuclear Iran, and this resolve is mirrored by Israel, who is most directly threatened by Iranian nuclear weapons. However, a nuclear Iran could spark an arms race in the region.
See? And this is the picture once again, as this guy said here. It says truly visible that the perspective of this video is based on mainstream Western controlled media. So this is their reason on why they can't have a nuclear Iran, why we must invade them, why we must go to war with them. This is the picture that's being painted, the propaganda, the narrative.
With states like Saudi Arabia and Jordan feeling the pressure to develop their own nuclear weapons to ensure their own safety versus a nuclear Iran. This could spark a wave of proliferation that would be disastrous for the world in light of a near century of careful work to contain nuclear proliferation and thus limit the risk of a catastrophic nuclear exchange.
All right, as he said, this would be catastrophic. This would be dangerous to the world. So here is good old USA coming to prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear power, okay, to save the world, because this is what it would cause within this region. Will cause a nuclear arms race amongst the other neighboring countries, and that would be catastrophic. So now we have to go, in order to stop this from happening, to save the world, we have to basically go to war with Iran, all right? Because Iran is a danger to the planet, all right? It's just, you know, so you get the point.
There's little doubt then that the U.S. is prepared to use the full might of its military against Iran to prevent this nightmare scenario. But while Iran is significantly out...
To prevent this nightmare scenario, we're willing to go to war. We're willing to use nuclear force against Iran to prevent this nightmare scenario, right? When really all Iran is trying to do is become, is usually for use of nuclear enrichment, basically become it escaped me. Basically for the infrastructure, for energy, man. All right. Once again, it will be much easier to just buy nukes from Russia than to try to create their own.
Matched in every category, it isn't helpless. Iran's first move in a war against the West would be to...
Now, this is the point on another reason why they want to control. It's about, once again, about resources. This is a great point why they want control over Iran, why they want Iran. This right here.
Block off the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, it's recently threatened to do just that in response to European lawmakers voting to label the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization. This would be catastrophic for the global energy trade, as 1/5 of all global oil flows through.
Catastrophic for the global energy trade, as 1/5 of the oil goes through that Strait of Hormuz. So Iran is in a key position, a prominent position, all right, as 1/5 of the global world energy trade passes through that. So imagine if America was to get their hands on Iran. Imagine the leverage they would have on all these other countries, because that's what it's all about. U.S. hegemony. Okay, they get Iran. They control the Middle East. They control 1/5 of the global world trade energy. You see that? You see, that's what it's all about, man. They get control of Iran, like that general said. You know, we gonna end off with Iran. What happened with Iraq, Afghanistan, all right, the poppy, the opium, all that stuff. Okay, so Iran is no difference. It's all about resources. They have no legitimate reason to go to war with these people, but hey, they painted the picture. Basically, this would be catastrophic to the planet Earth if Iran becomes nuclear. Iran is just basically arming the Hamas. It's just attacking Israel. So this is the target. Okay, Iran is the target.
Strait, and Iran is well situated to enact a blockade. While at its narrowest point, the strait is 31 miles wide, the huge oil cargo ships that transit the strait are limited to a narrow channel through which...
All right, so we're going to pause it there and go to 1050 mark. If you want to watch the whole video, just Iran's war playing.
Lend military aid to their own to ensure trade continued to flow. Iran's most likely move then would be to use its proxy forces to attack U.S., European, and Israeli interests in the region. With nearly 200,000 militants supplied and trained by Iran, this veritable army of militants is one of Iran's biggest insurance policies as their reach expands across the entire region. Never one to shy away from terrorism, Iran's unleashing of these militant forces would inevitably lead to a dramatic uptick in terrorist attacks inside of Europe.
See? And with all this, these migration, immigrants, so on and so forth, I'm just speculating, man. All right, all the people that crossed the U.S. border, they could say that these people were, trained by Iran. Whatever the case may be, but that's why scriptures say, "Be circumspect." We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Got all these people crossing borders all over the planet Earth, into Europe, into U.S. Okay.
With a lesser amount making it across the sea to the U.S., this massive proxy force could throw the entire region into chaos, threatening global energy supplies. However, other nations might not be willing to see the U.S. dominate Iran and overthrow its government to install a pro-Western replacement. China, for one, would hate to see U.S. influence...
See, to install a pro-U.S. enforce. That's what's regime change. Overthrow Iran, put up a puppet leader. Now they have control over the resources.
Even stronger in the region. And while Russia has been relegated to the minor leagues, it too would be unhappy about U.S. influence growing even stronger in the world's most economically important waterway.
See there? The world's most economically important waterway. That's the whole reason they want Iran. They'll have leverage over Russia and China. They have leverage over, they'll keep that leverage over all these nations, man. That's what it's all about. Let's run that back a little bit.
While relegated to the minor leagues, it too would be unhappy about Western replacement. China, for other nations, might not be willing to see the U.S. dominate Iran and overthrow its government.
Other nations might not be willing to see America overthrow Iran. All right? Yo, give me a second in here. All right, Salakia. Hold on.
Install a pro-Western replacement.
That's what it's all about. Come on, man.
For one, would hate to see U.S. influence grow even stronger in the region. And while Russia has been relegated to the minor leagues, it too would be unhappy about U.S. influence growing even stronger in the world's most economically important waterways. While extremely unlikely, a successful U.S. campaign to overthrow the current regime does run the risk of inviting action by these two nations. And
that's it, right there. That's it right there. That's the picture. That's the big picture. So let's get these scriptures and we close this lesson out. I don't want to make it too long. Back in Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in a great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men. All right, three classifications of men. The sons of God, number one, which are the Israelites, the true Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, not these people. Just read Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Okay, these aren't the people. Say once the people are set in the land, once Israel's in his land, Isaiah's 2nd chapter, there will be no more wars. Nobody is going to come up against them. All right, you got wars upon wars all the time. Go show you these people don't fit biblical prophecy. Okay. Sakia. So the third part of man, slay the third part of man. Number one, the sons of God. Number two, the sons of men, which would be the other nations. Number three, the sons of the wicked. All right, which are the Edomites, this beast system, this European system. All right, Russia isn't a part of the beast, but Russia will also be considered of that the third part, okay? Because Russians are Edomites as well. They just not a part of the beast system. All right, for to slay the third part of man. So within this nuclear destruction, within this third world war, okay, their power structure is going to be destroyed. It says the number of the army of horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. All right, 200 million missiles. It says, and thus I saw the horses in a vision that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. So this is talking about the missiles, all right, in a parabolic form, the missiles, because horses don't have heads of lions. Okay, it says by these three was the third part of man killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone would issue out of their mouths, meaning the warheads. Okay, because that's where the power is held at. So this third part of men is going to be killed. It says, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. All right, meaning the rocket system, the things that launch these rockets. It says, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Once again, that's why they call them warheads. Okay, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands. All right, elites, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. And that's the wicked elites, man, that fund all these wars, murderers that put poisons in your foods, so on and so forth. Sorcery, their fornication, or their thefts. Covet lands. Scriptures speak about how they covet land. So here it is, they trying to covet another nation's land again. Let's see something real fast. We'll close out with this. But before these things take place, right? Okay. Revelation 13 and 16 has to happen. All right. Revelation 13 and 16 has to happen. The mark of the beast has to be made mandatory. So we see how close this war is, because that's what war with Iran. You see what they're saying? All right. War with Iran means war with Russia and war with China. Okay. So everyone that take that chip, this is your fate. You're gonna be a part of this destruction. It's a nuke. I did that. Pause it for copyright issues. All right. So it was something else. All right. Yeah. So you see this is what took place.
This explosion triggered
Desolation. All right. This specific part here. That's desolation right there. That's what those missiles are going to bring. Jeremiah 15:45. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, against his purposes, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. This is America. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their desolation. So I can make their habitation desolate with them. So this is going to be the fate for America and the state of Israel. At the noise of the taking of Babylon. All right, so the noise, this is that noise when those missiles hit. The earth is moved. Why? The earth's all that, man, the missiles hitting this place hard, man. Okay? This earth's going to reel to and fro, as said in Isaiah. And the cry is heard among the nations. So with that, Lord, as soon as I define till next time, giving all praise, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.